tough act to follow, but it was no act. Information we needed to have. I'll start off by saying I'm going to be reading most of this because I'm dealing with what has happened here locally. I don't want to get the dates wrong and the people wrong, so we'll see if I can read most of this without stumbling over it and putting you to sleep. But first, on the St. Patrick's Day, let's all observe a moment of honor for the Emerald Isle. Why? February 25th, last month, the Irish folks went to the polls and voted out the ruling government. In doing so, they voted out the existing ruling coalition, including all members of the Green Party. So let us note that on this green day, the Emerald Isle is now a little bit less green by popular demand. All right. Tom has given us an in-depth review of the origins of ICLEI and its participation in the drafting of the 1992 UN's Agenda 21. He has shown how sustainability has been elevated by ICLEI to benchmark status to be used by all governments in their official policy decisions. I will trace the history of ICLEI in our local city and county governments, and in doing so, I'll be quoting, perhaps endlessly, from official county documents posted online, which means you can go back and check yourself on all of this. The Board of Supervisors' involvement with ICLEI may have been an innocent response to outside pressures from activists within the local government or from governing organizations to which elected officials are automatically involved. They may have inherited these affiliations without knowing it or realizing the agendas inherent in them. The Virginia chapter of the American Planning Association has an ICLEI affiliation and is part of the Virginia State Climate Protection Network. Some members of the local board had questioned the wisdom of these actions along the way, but may have been convinced by others on the board to go along to get along. My presentation is nonpartisan. If you read my letters in the Richmond Times or the Daily Progress, you'll be aware of my pointedly negative comments regarding our Republican governors' infatuation with wind and solar power. It is decidedly not my intent to disparage in any way sensible stewardship of our local environment. I will document the morphing of a 2007 benign statement of purpose by local government as to the virtues of going green and saving you money into the currently funded objectives of mandating your behavioral change. And they also will point out the enacting of county legislation to force your compliance with this new benchmark of sustainability. As this timeline is traced, note how the word voluntary becomes replaced by, quote, mandated behavior change in the documents of local government. Henry Lamb, in his August 2006 Agenda 21 and the United Nations report, noted that the model legislation produced by such organizations as the American Planning Association is designed to implement, quote, community sustainability principles of the 1995 UN Conference on Human Settlements. And the UN's eyes, they don't have cities, they have settlements. Communities are told to develop land use plans conforming to the principles originating in the international community. He points out often, quote, the role and influence of UN is minimized or denied, period. Especially at the local and state level, even the most active proponents of sustainable development are either unaware or deliberately deny that the process is related to the United Nations. I call that a sort of willful ignorance, perhaps. I can tell you firsthand, when I spoke before the Board of Supervisors here on February the 2nd, that was exactly the response I got. There were smiles, snickers, and denials that the UN had anything to do with our local county government. Supervisor Dennis Rooker managed to invoke for himself, at least, the image of Tea Party infiltration of county government, but certainly not the United Nations. How did ICLEI work its way into your local government? I encourage you once again, go online and confirm for yourselves the history of ICLEI's involvement is documented at the county's website. Read the County of Albemarle Executive Summary Reports of December 2007, February 2008, March 2009, and August 2009. ICLEI has its own website where the homepage lists numerous U.S. and foreign events and joint programs with the United Nations. Board of Supervisor members may have been hoodwinked into participation, but there is no factual basis anymore to deny the UN link. If you buy ICLEI, you get the whole ICLEI package. The February 2008 County Executive Summary recounts the county's involvement all the way back to 2004. So if you go to that point, you have a nice summary there, timeline beginning 2004. That year, the county executive signed an environmental management policy committing the county to pollution prevention and continual environmental improvement. Who could object to this? It's akin to the irresistible good feeling embodied in motherhood and apple pie. However, no definition of continual environmental improvement was given, nor how it was to be measured. In September 2006, an environmental compliance manager was hired. Later, the county partnered with Energy Star and set a goal of reducing internal energy use 30% by 2012. So, what is not to like so far? You're saving money for the taxpayer, and you can see that Energy Star plaque as you walk into this building from the parking lot. In February 2007, the Board of Supervisors unanimously supported pursuing the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design certification for new construction projects, known as LEED. The basic level of this third-party run certification process requires only 40 to 49 points out of 100 to qualify. The more expensive, they admit it is more expensive, upfront construction costs are claimed to be recouped over the lifespan of the building. So far, nothing alarming, plus something worthwhile, and long as we stay with voluntary goals. It is in a December 2007 board meeting when Board of Supervisor member, Mr. Dennis Rooker, first presented, quote, a non-agenda item in which he asked the board to adopt a resolution entitled, the U.S. Poole Counties Climate Stabilization Declaration, pledging to reduce both community, that's you folks, and the local government, operational greenhouse emissions reductions of 80% by 2050. Mr. David Slutsky seconded the motion. Why this magic and arbitrary number? And here the path to ICLEI begins. I wonder, was the public or community asked if they wished to participate in this pledge? Did the Board of Supervisors realize that in 2007, Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth had been adjudged as a political piece of propaganda in England by an English court?